Hello, and welcome to Shady Business, a podcast dedicated to commentary on scams that live on the internet. I am your host, Maja, and I'm here to guide you through all things scam. Take a drink, and let's guide you on this world of adventure. Hello, and welcome back to Shady Business Podcast. I am your host, Maja, and I'm here to deliver you some sweet news. With me today, I have Roberto, my co-host. He will be going along with me as we share our sweet little stories with a little bonus surprise at the end. We have a lot coming up for you, so let's dive right in. All right, so the first story is actually something I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time.
Yeah, you've been very excited.
Yes, because it's just so absurd to me. I think it's kind of crazy. It has a sweet little ending, I thought, because I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't know how it was going to wrap up because it was still ongoing. It's fresh from September 2024. Yeah. So it's still like in the last half of the year. But now that it's all wrapped up, the CEO of Crumbl has given their statements, and now I can actually just share it. We can talk about like what it is,
what happened,
and all that jazz. So let me give you a little overview. So in late September of 2024, a group of Australian Crumble Cookie enthusiasts organized an unauthorized pop-up event in Sydney. They traveled to the U.S., purchased a substantial quantity of Crumble cookies, and imported them to Australia, spending over $13,000 on the venture. The cookies were sold at the pop-up for $17.50 AUD each, which is approximately $12 US.
Do you know what the regular price is?
$5 per cookie.
Okay, keep going.
Which is significantly higher than their US price of around $5. The event attracted large crowds, with many eager to try the popular American cookies. But then social media happened, and there were a lot of TikTok reviews and a lot of Facebook and a lot of Instagram reels that were made about all these cookies. And it was just a slew of, this is, I got these cookies and they're not that great. So they were really disappointed upon discovering that the cookies were actually stale. They tasted hard. They tasted gross.
Yeah.
Because they had become stale during transit. They were imported. So the organizers then clarified that they were not officially affiliated with Crumble Cookie, even though literally their website, if we can pop in the image, I can also send it to you. Their entire storefront, when they were selling these cookies or their pop-up event, were using all of the branding from Crumbl.
Really?
Down to the font, down to the color scheme, everything.
And they had their own website for the Australia? Okay.
Yeah. So the organizers clarified that they were not officially affiliated with Crumble Cookies and aimed to bring the authentic experience to Australia. Despite their intentions, the event faced criticism for high prices and lack of freshness because they didn't disclose initially that they had, it was I don't know how long it had been, but it was in the air because it takes a while for him to purchase them, package them all up, but all that stuff. Yeah. So despite their intentions, the event faced criticism for high prices and lack of freshness. In response to the incident, though, Crumble Cookies co-founder Sawyer Hemsley acknowledged the enthusiasm for international fans and indicated plans to expedite the company's entry into the Australian market. So even though they infringed upon the copyright, all of that stuff, the CEO was like, thanks for the exposure. We'll come to Australia soon.
He's like, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, for real.
You did market research for us.
Yeah, for real. It was crazy. But that's what happened. They basically kind of used it as a leeway to start, I guess, going into Australia. But yeah. $13,000.
Yeah, and that one's a little hard for, I would say, I'm sure Crumble Cookie, but for people that are looking to just try an experience that they're expecting to have a good result from, it just puts that sour taste in their mouth so bad. And unfortunately, it was at the cost of these outsiders.
Yeah, but do you have anything like that you would pay that much for? Even if these people waited for so long to get these cookies that were they're $5 in America, right? For one of the big ones.
Yeah.
But they paid almost like what, double, triple that just to get one cookie. Like, is there anything that you would do that for? Is that insane mentality? Like, do you feel
it's definitely crazy, but that's literally what the internet has done to a lot of products and people, where it's like there was a trend going around with like that Saudi Arabian filled chocolate. I don't know if you remember seeing that.
Yeah, the Dubai.
Yeah. And people were willing to ship or order chocolate from the Middle East just to try that actual that piece of candy. And then people started making it, right? And then people started trying to figure out how to do it themselves. And I'm sure people are already starting business ideas on how to do it, but it's just not the same.
No.
And would I pay for something that I genuinely want to try that's probably higher priced, that's not made here? I mean, if I want to try it, I'll try it. But I think the problem is that you start to look at corporate greed when you see a cookie going for $13.
Oh my God.
And then you're like, I don't want to say that the whole story itself is just like a cloudy sky and it's just like there was no happy ending, because you're saying there is kind of a sweet ending to it. Crumble Cookie kind of realized like, hey, there's a demand for us in these areas, and they only found that out because people wanted it so bad.
Right.
And
so then do you think if these enthusiasts, these people that brought over these cookies, do you think then maybe they're kind of kicking themselves? Because now that Crumbl's attention is on Australia, they can't go back and do the same thing over again unless they do it for a different brand, a different company.
The group that did it, I'm very curious that like what their motive was. Did they really think that they could just steal another company's product and just open up their own cookie store and call it a day?
I still don't get how they were able to skirt the law. Like somebody, like even if Crumbl themselves weren't mad at what they did, or not mad, but used it as an opportunity to elevate their own brand. But like, isn't that has to violate some sort of law, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. That's the kind of like the basis of like copyright,
right?
And trademarks.
Yeah,
you legally cannot just take someone's business and start selling it as your own, because that is stealing.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the core basis of this scam is that there was theft involved.
Right.
They stole IP, intellectual property. They stole the recipes by just stealing or selling those same cookies. Like, even if they would have taken the crazy idea.
Yes.
You could take those cookies, and I'm pretty sure you could legally do this. You could take those cookies and crumble them up, like literally crumble them, and maybe turn them into like the crust of a pie. Or the crust of like a cupcake or something.
You are like altering the...
Just like an Oreo pie. You're not selling Oreos, you're selling Oreo pie.
Yeah.
And there are ways to get around these things to then what people call steal like an artist, right? Mm-hmm. You're
sampling.
Yeah, you're sampling. You are mixing, you're collaborating products and stuff. And it's not like the guy that owns curry powder is going to come after you for a curry dish.
Right.
But he will probably say, hey, yeah, my recipe or my product, or if you use a type of seasoning or something, they may be like, that was my seasoning that made it that. Now more people want it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it depends on where your perspective is as like life throws that stuff at you. Because, I mean, that's kind of how you know you've made it, right? When people start using your IP as their basis for their product. Yeah,
I've heard it from a lot of business coaches and just other fellow entrepreneurs, where it's like, if you're not making people angry or jealous or frustrating people, or I guess getting people to question you, you're not trying to do anything hard enough or different.
So would you then imagine that these people were then smart to do this?
I would say they, because I think Sawyer said it in the thing, but like they took initiative.
That is true.
They were excited about the idea and they were willing to try something different. Was it the right method?
That's where the shady part comes. Like, was it right? Was it correct? Was it the right thing to do?
Yeah, and I mean the whole, I guess, to make it line up with the podcast, like we talk about shady business stuff, and that in itself, the whole story itself has a lot of shady components to it. What were their intentions? Were those shady? I mean, I don't know. We're not them.
That's
true. And if they ever did hear this and they were like, yeah, no, actually, we genuinely we were trying to run a business. Right. We bought a product, and maybe they thought they were wholesalers. I don't know. But the fact that they did go
New
the
age
extra,
drop shipping.
yeah, well, delivering goods, yeah. But the fact that they went to the distance to put like the logos and the brandings, that's crossing the line. Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They could have been very candid and open and transparent. It's like, hey, we are a marketplace selling popular brands from across the country.
Right.
And they could have had Crumbl as one of those things.
Honestly, it could have been easy as like Crumbl inspired or like Crumbl, like fan favorite Crumbl.
Well,
like,
I mean,
like
Crumbl is so big that I don't know if you saw this. I literally just saw it on social media recently. There's a collaboration between Crumble Cookies and Dove soap.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That part of me has the consumer just
In your head.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the fun little collabs that come out. Oh my gosh.
But see, that's an example though of people want to be like, you could say that collaborations have some sort of shady intent with the idea to sell more.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Right?
okay. If as a consumer you do not see collaborations as what they are to expand your network, then you are bamboozling yourself.
Yes.
You are lying to yourself.
Yes.
All collaborations, I don't care who you are, is to expand something.
Yep. And just like we talked about in the first episode, like there is an intent to everything.
Yes.
And I'm not going to sit here and say everybody's intent's bad or best for themselves. But I mean, I even had a personal conversation with our producers here yesterday where we were talking about selflessly being selfish. I might have been saying that wrong, but it's like we all live our own lives and we have to take care of ourselves.
Of course.
So I get why people are willing to go the extra mile to put themselves, out of commission to do something. But it's also usually the basis on why people will scam one another.
Yeah, it's that innate
Yeah.
need to survive, but it kind of morphs the way we've grown as a society.
Yeah, and I think the problem is with this whole Crumbl thing is that the intent behind it may not have been as malicious as it was, but if you look at the way the world has already blossomed and grown, like we already struggle with a lot of corporate greed, social responsibility, transparency among pricing and products and peoples and businesses. And so the fact that this happened, it creates a lot of just like it kind of lights the fire back in people and they're like, see, I don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is why, this is why I don't like this or corporate companies or I like mom and pop shots. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just, that's the narrative that the general business community has painted, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's where you learn about business ethics and ethical business practices and laws. And you were spot on. Like there are laws around what they did that got them in trouble. Maybe it wasn't a malicious thing, but they exist for that reason.
Exactly.
Otherwise, people will be getting scammed and being shady for the rest of human history. And there is something to learn from this story where it's like, don't point your fingers at Crumbl and don't even point your fingers at like the regulators that allowed it to happen.
Right.
Just that is the business world as it is right now, and that's everyone's fault.
Yeah,
That's all our fault.
Everyone had a piece of the cookie.
Everyone had a piece of the cookie, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. I truly believe that everyone is responsible for social responsibility and the way that consumers and businesses are buying and selling, and Crumble Cookie did a great job of branding themselves as who they are, and everyone loves their cookies. That buys it. But unfortunately, it does create a space for other people to take advantage of that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's the hard part about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the cookie part now?
We can, yeah.
Are you hungry?
I'm always hungry.
So, Roberto, are you hungry then to see if you could tell the difference between a real cookie or the inspired one?
You gonna scam me?
I mean, let's see if I can.
Yeah, so this is actually a good this is actually a good point, because then you could open up a cookie stand and be like, yeah, I got Oreos. And be like, yeah, let me try one.
All right, so let me go ahead and explain what we're going to be doing. So I have got 3 types of sweet cookie treats that we all know and love. We have the classic chocolate chip, we have the vanilla wafer, and then we have the Oreo. The Oreo is always weird to me because the Oreo is an Oreo unless it's a cookies and cream cookie. but then we all refer to it as an Oreo. So
Right. Yeah.
anyway, the cookies and cream cookie. We're going to go ahead and just dive right in. We're going to blindfold Roberto because one of them has literally the embossing of the company on the cookie.
Yeah. It's a
You
little,
can probably
kinda
guess which one.
gives it away.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. While we do that, we're going to get set up. And I don't know what you're going to be, unless you just want to close your eyes.
Well, okay. We'll do this.
Okay.
So I won't look at them right now.
Okay. Do you want me to help with that because your coffee's on it? Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll do it this way so you can kind of see.
I feel like I'm at lunch or school right now.
That's actually great.
We are trying. How I've been podcasting I haven't been podcasting that long, but I've been running podcasts for so long. Didn't think people would try cookies on a podcast, so here we are.
You know what? There's a first for everything.
There apparently is. Sean, this is weird.
This is so exciting.
I know.
And then you guys can have some cookies before I go because I don't
course.
think we should have that many cookies in the household. Sorry, Tony.
It'll be like,
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do like the thumbnail right
I already
now?
am. Let me look right at the camera. Cookies. Okay.
Okay. So the first cookie test is going to be the chocolate chip cookie. Please, Roberto, close your eyes.
Okay. Just
Give
put
me
it in
your
my
hand.
Yep.
Yes. So the
Perfect.
first cookie is going to be placed into Roberto's hand.
Oh, should
Go
I look at
ahead.
it or no?
You just put
Okay.
it in your mouth.
I'm not even going to look at it though. Okay, hold on.
Okay. The suspense is killing me. Mm-hmm. And he does have a coffee right next to him as his palate cleanser.
Okay, and what am I doing?
Well, so basically you're going to be telling me if it's good or not. And then after you have the second cookie, you're going to tell me which one's which.
Oh, okay, perfect. So should I put it back now?
Yes, please.
Okay. And
Just down. Awesome.
and then
Perfect.
that one.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Cookie B.
Mm. Okay. Honestly, right off the bat, there is a huge difference in texture.
Is there?
Mhm.
Okay, tell us. Give us notes.
That first one,
Yes.
it was like I bit into it and it broke into like 4 pieces. This one though, I bit into it and it crumbled into like cookie dust.
Okay.
So it was a lot easier to chew.
Uh-huh.
I kind of like this one a little bit better.
Okay.
But let me hold on. Let me
Okay,
try
well,
this.
you-
Let me
okay,
try this
yeah,
one
go
one
for
more
it,
time.
Go for it. Go for it.
Because this one's a lot harder too. Like when I just naturally feel it, it just feels stiffer. And I can break off a piece like, well, this one, literally if I break it off, see how it just
Has like a
yeah.
lot of.
it has a lot of extra piece that comes off it. It's more like what are those Biscoff things that you?
Oh yeah, I've had those. It's really nice.
They're really good.
Mhm.
Okay. If I had to choose between them, though, I'd go with this one.
All right, and that one is the brand name cookie.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like putting aside the brand name, it was a better cookie.
It was.
Yeah,
Okay.
it unfortunately is. I'm curious why that one's really dry and hard though. I would just say they probably cooked it too long.
Maybe it
little
was
too hot?
It didn't like pass QC that well.
Okay. All right, let's.
All right, go
next
ahead
one.
and try the vanilla wafer cookies.
Disclaimer on wafers. I love them.
Oh, do you not? Are you allergic?
No, I love them.
Oh, you love them.
Yeah, they're
so you know.
my favorite.
Okay, go
So,
for it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So he's trying A now.
This one's really dusty. Real dusty, but let's figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar to that first one where it just kind of breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that something you would look for in a cookie? Something that breaks?
I don't know. I would think it would depend on the type of cookie. Like if I wanted a soft cookie or... I don't even know how cookies are supposed to be. Are they supposed to be hard or are they supposed to be soft?
Well,
Because if they're all supposed to be soft, these are ass. These are all hard. Like that's what that's always been my conclusion with like Chips Ahoy and anything else where I just never really enjoyed a hard cookie.
right.
And then they came out with like the soft ones. And I'm
Right,
like,
the chewy.
Yeah, those are-
Maybe that's just a personal preference.
maybe, I don't know. But is there yeah, are cookies supposed to be soft or hard?
Please tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. But this one's pretty good, tasty.
Yeah. Overall solid
Yeah.
vanilla wafer.
Not bad.
Cool.
I mean, I hope it's not hard to make a vanilla wafer. So
I mean, yeah,
if they screwed it up, and that's on them.
it's true.
Okay.
Not good.
No, it's. That one's like crunch. Sorry. That one's like crunchier and airier. Like it has more
air.
Yeah, it's like
More
air
porous.
pockets. Yeah, more porous. There we go. So I was looking for this one.
So
is like
less bang for your buck.
I don't know. Hold on.
So a less dense cookie.
Yeah, this one's more dense for sure.
Uh-huh.
It has a strong flavor profile. This one is like
There's some.
they're pretty similar. They're
mouth
pretty
ASMR
similar.
right there.
Yeah, they're pretty similar, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go with this one.
And he picks the brand name again.
Look at that.
Ah.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Will
Okay.
it be 3 for 3?
3 for 3? Okay.
Well, this one is the one you can't really look.
Okay. So I
Okay.
won't look at this one.
And you have to eat all of it at
Let
once.
me drink. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready?
I really like coffee with my cookies, so
Perfect.
I'm not
Ready?
gonna look. Yep, just give me that. Okay.
Number 1.
This is it.
Or A, sorry.
I don't know what it is, so you guys can see it, not me.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to run an extra mile today.
2.
2.
I gotta try the other one.
All right,
Before I
let's
try
go
anything.
the other one. Do you
Hold
need
on.
a palate cleanse? Yep. This is going to be so fun to edit for you guys. I wonder if mouth sounds are hard.
Oh, they're probably terrible.
All right, and here is the other one.
Okay, I'm trying to remember that first one. Okay.
He's a professional doing this for about 20 minutes now. Do you know?
Mm-mm.
You don't know?
I do and I don't.
Oh, we should have done this all like blinded then.
Well, I didn't. I don't know what those
Well, I
other
mean,
two were.
completely like
Yeah,
just
that's true.
take out that sense. Maybe we'll
Um,
do this for like Valentine's Day episode, and I'll do chocolates.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that I'm eating right now.
Yes.
Oh, I hope I'm right. The one that I'm eating right now is the Oreo.
You're correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason why I could tell was because
Did you feel the O?
no, it was the way the cookie broke. Genuinely.
No way.
There is something about all three of these cookies that they're either intentionally cutting out a step that makes the cookie better, but
So are you saying that the brand name Nabisco is just drier, crumblier?
no, I think the knockoff ones or the generic ones
Yeah.
are drier.
Oh,
They're either drier or they're not letting them cook as long because obviously time is money. So however long it takes to make the cookies better, they're cutting back on that because I can tell.
You can tell.
I can tell. Try to sneak one by me.
I should have just done the same cookie. See if you could tell.
You just gave it me now? Jeez. No, and I think, but that's like the premises though of like being shady and shady businesses, and everyone's like, they're like everything's the same, and sometimes it is just labels. I would agree that a lot of it is similar, but not the same, but it's a preference thing. So if you know what you're buying and you're okay with the fact that the cookie's a little bit more drier, stale, hard, whatever,
Sure.
you're not getting scammed. You're just getting what you paid for.
That's true.
And that's, I don't know, I kind of like that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to taste test some cookies for me. And I'm excited to hear about what you have for us today.
Yes.
I want a cookie, though.
I know. You please help yourself. So that was fun. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out if you watched that. Sorry that was my first ASMR eating thing. But to keep it on a sweet note, another story we wanted to talk about today about when it comes to shady business is a local story, our first local story. Are you good? Switch to Maya. What are you doing? All right. So let me jump into it.
Okay.
So today, and excuse my nasally sounding, everybody, I'm getting over a sickness from Christmas. So just bear with me. But also Happy New Year's and Happy Fiesta Bowl Day. Are you going to watch the game later?
I will try.
Probably not.
No, I will try. I will. I went to, what was it? What was the other one? That was on a Monday. It was like a week ago.
The Mountain West Champion?
Yeah, I went to that one. I was there.
I didn't. So I guess you're more of a fan than I am.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Even though, update on my fantasy football league, I am in dead last. I'm so sorry.
Never would have guessed, question mark?
I started off so strong.
I know. She came in the first week and she was like, you won't believe it.
No, it was like 3 or 4 weeks in a row that I was winning.
There you go.
And then it all went downhill. The projected numbers mean nothing.
They don't mean anything when people are breaking legs and not making plays.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one for everyone. So first local story. Again, this podcast is based out in Boise, Idaho. So this is an Idaho local story. If you guys are listening from out of Idaho, another country, another state, and you guys want your story shared, you guys can submit it, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, or we will find one locally. So just let us know if you guys are interested in hearing a story local to your town. But here is one for Idaho. So we are reading an article from the Idaho Statesman newspaper about Stella's ice cream.
Love Stella's ice
And
cream.
I'm going to go ahead and jump into it and just read you this first segment, and then we can kind of talk about what happened. Okay. Stella's Ice Cream, a popular chain with locations in Boise, Eagle, Nampa, and Caldwell, Idaho, was slapped with $321,000 in penalties Thursday for violating child labor laws, according to the U.S. Department of Labor.
Oh my God.
The department found that the Nampa-based company had assigned dangerous tasks to dozens of children in all 4 of its shops and illegally shared tips with managers. The company regularly employed workers between 14 and 15 years old to use industrial mixers, drive a delivery van, and work past 10:30 p.m. The department said in a news release, federal laws bar employers from working 14 and 15-year-olds past 7 p.m., and that they are not allowed to work over 18 hours per week during school months between June 1st and Labor Day. They are allowed to work until 9 p.m. according to the release. And let's see, between June 1st and Labor Day, they are allowed to work until 9 p.m. according to the release. A statement from Stella's. Learning new skills in the workplace is an important part of growing up, but we must protect children and ensure their first jobs are safe and do not interfere with their education or well-being. Also, that was actually said by Catherine Wallum, the Department Wage and Hour Division District Director.
Oh.
So,
So who?
Yeah.
I wonder. Does it say who reported or how it came to light that they were not quite in line with the law?
yeah, so most of these stories come to light either because, hold on, I need a burp. Oh, that coffee will get you.
Oh my God! I thought you were gonna throw up.
No, it's just a bad burp.
These things happen or come to light.
Actually, it's funny you asked that because it says the investigation, which started in 2020,
Wow.
covered allegations dating back to 2019. And it's unclear when the investigation actually wrapped up.
Oh.
So I would assume that most situations like this actually come just because of it's either a complaint from a former employee, a current employee may have said something to the wrong person, a distraught manager, somebody that used to work there, or literally just a state worker happening to check into it or look into it a little bit.
Right.
Or there being some sort of tip or anonymous kind of hey, we're going to look into this.
Right.
Coffee shops, mom and pop stores, and those small bake shops and restaurants are usually susceptible to a lot of those things.
Right.
Anything in the agriculture service industry typically, and I know this because of just one my background too. I studied marketing, and this is literally stuff I studied. But those specific industries, service-based industries, are more susceptible to violating common laws of labor laws and child laws.
Right. So it is. Is it so since it is kind of more common for that to happen, for those types of businesses to break those laws, or bend the law, I should say. Is there I don't know how to ask this, but do does the agency that pursues the lawsuits or the whatever, do they take that into consideration? Excuse me, do they take that into consideration? Are they more like also lenient with these mom and pop stores, or is it something that it's like certain because break down what it was that they got
Right.
fined for.
Yeah, and so your question actually leads into that kind of where it's like they're not lenient. They are not lenient at all.
Okay, so they're just like
They
black and
are
white, like
yep, to the book, hard, hard on what the actual rules are.
mm-hmm.
And the problem with a lot of regulatory stuff at the federal and the state level for a lot of business owners and just politics and everything is that the things are dated.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding and from my research in this story, and again, we're actually just sharing this story just so people know about this, but the big problem that they were talking about, quote unquote, that they mentioned in this article was that the company regularly employed workers 14 and 15 years old to use industrial mixers.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up finding out is that they were talking to Stella themselves, and apparently the industrial mixers that they're talking about are literally just like ice cream mixers or KitchenAid mixers.
Oh wow!
So literally the common tools that you guys use in your house every day,
Really,
just a regular mixer. Those are what some of and there are obviously industrial grade mixers and blenders.
Sure.
So they're just a little bit more stronger, powerful,
Uh-huh.
but it's just a blender.
Right.
It just has more wattage or more power or more
Mm-hmm. So you
amperage.
could
So you
handle
could
the
handle
load,
more.
Yeah.
You could use it more.
Right.
So the regulators have a rule that people in certain ages can only use equipment up to like a certain amount of wattage. And that is what they're saying that Stella has violated in terms of labor laws and getting kids to use industrial mixers or dangerous equipment, quote unquote, to them.
This kind of feels like one of those laws where it's like it's legal to fish off of a giraffe's back in like the morning or something like that. So then are they going to then fight the law? Are they going to
No, because they broke it. That law exists. Here's the problem. The law exists. And while the law exists, they broke it.
Right, but I mean, I feel like if there is proof enough to show that would be an outdated law, couldn't they fight it in court?
Yeah, so that's actually why the story is getting a little bit bigger, and
Okay.
what the owners are doing is that they're just talking about it more.
Okay.
Like if we really wanted to, we could probably get them to come on the podcast and talk to us about this.
Okay.
But
Hey, Stella.
but I think they were saying that they just want this to be used as an opportunity for other community members and businesses to start to really think about what rules or industry standards or regulations are out of date.
So they paid their $300 fine.
They're working on paying it. Yeah.
They're working on paying it. So then does that mean if this law is not if they're not in the place where they're able to fight the law, then are they going to have to then kind of obviously they're going to have to become more in line with what the law is right now. So are they going to like get weaker blenders or?
I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have to adjust their employees, and they're gonna have to let some people go or adjust their hours. Like there are some things that will slip through the cracks, like letting people stay later than they should,
Sure.
hiring kids that shouldn't be working. So like there are things that you can do, right? And I think they're gonna have to make those adjustments until further notice. So it's just like
right now we're just getting awareness. We're trying to kind of show that there are certain laws and like regulations that just are outdated.
Yes, because Chad, the CEO and the founder of Stella, said that while the company acknowledges in the findings and it's not hiding from the allegations, the penalties are excessive.
Okay,
That's what they think. While we accept full responsibility for addressing the concerns identified, we strongly disagree with the final ruling. So kind of what you're saying, like the ruling's out of date. They don't necessarily agree with it, which imposes grossly disproportionate fines that unfairly target small businesses like them.
Yeah, because if you have one person that gets angry at you because, I don't know, you were too slow into getting them the product, or maybe somebody was having an off day, and they could easily like find something like that in whatever regulatory law under Idaho's whatever, and just get them to shut down. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, and the other part to it is that like you can try to be intentional with how you're running your business, but if I guess you're violating federal laws, then that's just where the lines are crossed. Because the second issue that they had with Stella,
Wait, so was it state laws or federal laws?
I think these were federal laws.
Ooh, yeah. So that's a little harder to.
Let me double check. Yeah, federal law bars employees from working 14 and 15-year-olds past 7 p.m.
So then, what's the what's the state law then?
It's generally very similar
Okay.
to most federal laws. You're not employing minors on school hours. You can only employ them for so long.
Okay.
They can't work certain times of the year, stuff like that.
Okay.
So there's always been those kind of barriers to keep kids from child labor.
So because
yeah.
they went off of a federal law, the person or entity who reported the business, they're not able to just kind of bounce it back to the state, or
Yeah, so they're getting in trouble by the feds, essentially.
Gotcha.
So by the federal government. It's not necessarily the state of Idaho pursuing them. It's the federal government.
Who
It's from my understanding. I know, right? But the other practice that they got in trouble for was they're saying was the tip thing.
The tip thing?
Yeah, so sorry, I'm trying to reread exactly what they said. So the department recovered nearly $79,500 in back wages and liquidated damages for 208 workers at Stella's. And so I can't find the exact phrase right here.
Bookkeeping?
So basically they got in trouble for tip sharing across the whole company.
Oh.
And they got in trouble because the federal rules don't allow that, even though that's what Stella wants to do. So this is where things get hairy. Say I open up a company and say it's a restaurant, and I'm like, hey guys, everyone's going to split the tips here because that's just how we're running this business.
Sure.
And everybody was like, sweet.
Yeah.
Everyone said good.
Okay.
And so they've been doing that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's illegal to do that.
Oh.
In this specific instance or areas, sharing tips amongst managers and employees.
Oh.
And so it looks like they got...
Is it kind of trying to protect the people who are mainly the ones that are the face?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the manager's already making money, right? And the workers are the lower wage employees, so I get that.
And service-based is very low.
Yeah, and if you're paying your people $3 an hour and you're trying to split their tips, okay, I get that. You shouldn't be doing that stuff. Like, they need to get as much money as they can because they're doing a lot of work, But
I mean, at the end of the day, if the person who owns the business...
Yeah.
I guess, okay, so maybe at this point, it is the business owner, the employee, kind of, like, in that sense. Because the regulation is trying to protect the worker, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're trying to protect the employer, right?
Sure.
So at this point, it's kind of like the perspective of who is the law benefiting at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like, a lot of people talk about the tax bracket and tax code and just all the rules and regulations more as they're not things, they aren't set to get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
It's set to show you the way and to teach you how to play the game at that level.
Yeah.
If you want to,
if you're not transparent about what you're doing, I feel like that's when you get in trouble because these laws are in place, right?
Yeah.
To kind of help guide you so that you're not making like shortcuts.
well, yeah, you got to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
That's what everyone talks about.
Yeah.
Like, it's learn how to play the game. And
Right.
there are people, I mean, I hate to bring them up, but like, think of Amazon. There's people that literally die on their warehouse supply chain because of they're being worked, not necessarily because they may be worked to death, but they could have an underlying condition, something happens and somebody literally dies and they're still open.
Yeah.
Just like this, just like the CEO was talking about, like it really sucks for small businesses because the second that they get wrapped up in something and it wasn't an intentional thing, or maybe they just were lack of knowledge, that's what's costing them. Mm-hmm. The lack of the knowledge is what cost them that $320,000 or whatever it was. And that's just because they didn't know how to play the game.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because
It is.
you're not taught those things.
No,
You're
that's
really
an
not.
experience.
Yeah, that's an experience thing. Or at least communicating and watching other people go about it and then learning from that itself. But at the end of the day, it sounds like these guys and gals had just made some bad business calls.
Yeah.
And they got in trouble for it. And it seems like they're accepting the consequences, but it's definitely something that they're not happy about.
Right.
It wasn't something that they anticipated for. And so now any business that goes through this has to figure out how to pay those fines.
Right. It's not like the best outcome, but it's not the worst outcome.
Right. and they're not hiding from it. It seems that they're handling it. They said that since everything happened, they've already been paying stuff back. They've already have adjusted their employees and their schedules and their stuff. But just getting the information to this kind of story and being in a community that we're in right now, like I know a lot of people that work with us and that are just in the community that are friends with the owners of these shops. And if you know somebody that owns a shop like this, like maybe just give them a little grace and to see what it is that they may be going through, see how you could help, or maybe gather with other local community people. And it's like, if Stella's is struggling because they have to pay this fine, then maybe we figure out a way to help them out if it's really something that will do good for the community.
Yeah, and the character will show as to like what they do post big incident like this. Because if they decide, hey, we're going to be better for it, we're going to adjust, we're going to figure out a way to work and be able to, like, if they do believe, and I also believe like it's kind of a sham that happened.
Yeah, it sucks that happened. Yeah, for sure.
But if they do want to like fight it and like, but they settled their stuff that happened because of what was the legality of it, then of course, 100%, that shows really good character, that shows amazing initiative, and I think it's worth supporting, even if a business or a company or whatever had fallen into trouble,
made mistakes, or they broke some rules that maybe some people don't agree with. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you think that's violating labor laws, you have not grown up in rural America or anywhere else where farmlands exist or anything like that, agriculture or landscape. Oh my God. If you think them using a KitchenAid mixer is dangerous and violating child laws, I don't know. I'm sure it is, but oh my gosh, dude. Like, I ain't going to get anyone in trouble, but dude, I've been working in fields since I was like 6 years old. No one said anything. So yeah, I'm kind of like, that is a little ridiculous, dude. I would rather have my 14-year-old kid learn how to use a power mixer than being out in the streets, running around doing nothing.
I mean, hey, there's life lessons and all of that.
Yeah. So hopefully Stella's was doing this and fixed it, and they're great guys, and I'd love to have them in here. But if we do get this out and put it as a clip, like, go, I don't know, maybe let us know what anyone else finds out, because maybe we're missing something here.
Please, if you have any insight, if you have any sort of other angle that you'd want us to look at or have evidence of, we love it. We love updating. We love doing all this stuff. So please.
And this is our first local story too. So we'll be able to share it with local people and see if anyone picks up on it.
It'd be fun. All right, Roberto, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah. So I just want to say that I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. We've only had so many episodes go up, but have gotten pretty good responses and views on everything. And I would just like to ask everybody that does watch it, if you make it to the end, subscribe to the channel. It helps us more than we realize. And we're just learning how to grow the podcast, make new friends online, build this community. And it'd be really cool for people to reach out, comment, have our return viewers just engage with us and see if we can make you a part of the show in some sort of way.
Definitely. We'd love for it to be a community-based podcast where we just share what's going on locally and nationally. Find us on Instagram at Shady Business Podcast, or you can find us on YouTube on the Shady Business Podcast, or you can find us anywhere where you can listen to podcasts.
Yes, indeed. So again, guys, thanks for listening. Subscribe to our channel if you can. Follow us on social media. Helps more than you realize. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, this is the Shady Business Podcast, and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow, and go ahead, leave a comment, and let us know what you like about the podcast or what we can do different, and maybe we will pick your comment next time. Stay tuned for more episodes, and we hope you enjoy.